And thanks for having me here tonight. I'm Kasper, as introduced. I work as an international online marketing manager for Momondo. I've been here for 1.5 years now, so in normal companies that would be a pretty short time. In Momondo, I'm probably like the 10th oldest guy being there. Momondo is probably the world's best meta search engine for flight searches. That means that if you are going from Copenhagen to New York, we search 700 different travel sites. We show you all the cheapest prices, the best prices, and make sure that you can get from point A to B as fast and as cheap as possible. We are mecca for international travelers in the aspect that we help not only with finding cheap flights, we find cheap hotels, cheap cars, and we have a travel guide as well. We are a colorful, vibrant internet page, and we are a travel site that I'll bet you that you're going to visit probably in the next 3 months. We don't want to show off. We have 200,000 daily visitors. We are recommended by some very fine people at CNN, CBS, Daily Telegraph. But what's really the success story? Well, we are sexy, vibrant, and social, but the real reason is that we have a returning visitor rate of 65%. This is not only in Denmark, this is in all of our international markets. And the reason why we're achieving this is because we are a trustworthy brand in all markets. We're a trustworthy brand in Denmark because people have known us in Denmark since we started in 2006. In an international perspective, we're trustworthy because we have a local base. So for instance, in Italy, our site is perfectly translated into Italian. We have Italian trust signs, we are recommended by Italian medias, and we have some really nice marketing material in Italian. We only have this because we have an international marketing manager. We didn't have that 1 year ago. So in that way, we can really make people like our site and trust us and come back and use us again and again. This we couldn't do just 2 years ago. We had everything translated with Google Translate, and people didn't like us at all. So in the beginning, before we had success with this internationalization, we had a vision to become the best flight search engine in the world and to establish a global travel brand. But in order to get here, we had to think global by acting local. Basically, like I just said before, going out, finding some local speakers, and give us a local presence in our international markets. The global challenge actually turned out to be pretty hard. To begin with, we tried out with some local country managers who were situated in the local markets. So for instance, we would have an Italian country manager situated in Milano, Italy. And this turned out to be a quite expensive case. Country managers have a lot of responsibility. They have some nice titles, hence they need expensive salaries. They are difficult to manage, basically because they're sitting in the other part of the world. We can't really tell them what to do, what not to do on a daily basis, so they kind of tend to do what they want to do. This, of course, means that they kind of control our brand in the way that they want to control it. If they decide to make a press release about something that we don't think our brand is, we can't really hold it back because they are thousands of kilometers away from us, so we don't really know what they're doing. Everyone had different profiles. We might have a brand manager in Italy who was strong with social medias. We might have one in Spain who was really strong with PR. So basically, we would have a very strong PR brand in Italy and a very strong social brand in Spain, for instance, which is not who we want to be. We want to be in all the medias. Then, of course, there's the travel expenses. It's expensive to go down, visit your country managers, and have them to come to Copenhagen. So we had the idea, why not just centralize everything in Copenhagen? Get all the country managers or all the marketing managers gathered under one roof and have a unified message to the world. There's all the advantages of having a unified brand, basically communicating the same across all markets because everybody's under one roof. You can provide training from the main office, so we don't have one marketing manager who's really good at social and another one who's really good at content. We educate them in every single aspect of marketing because we already have these resources in our house. Then we will get basically country managers with a really strong profile compared to having them sitting in the local markets. Furthermore, there's the direct and close communication between the marketing managers and all of the other departments, PR for instance. If we have a PR message in Denmark, we can easily copy it to Italy or Spain. We can easily translate it and find out does it work, does not work. We don't have to make phone calls, we don't have to write emails. The process is so much faster. And then there's the last final thing about having an in-house. It's the best practice sharing. What works in Italy usually works in Spain and Portugal, for instance. When we have a marketing manager in Italy, well, he's not going to be able to share all of his best practices with his Portuguese colleague. However, having them under the same roof, well, they can just turn around and have a chat. So this really seemed to be the way to go. However, we knew that this was going to be a great challenge because how are we going to find skilled labor in Denmark? I mean, if it was New York or London, I wouldn't hesitate. I could find Italian speakers, Brazilian speakers, Portuguese speakers, whatever. But in Copenhagen, well, it's not that easy. We have high taxes. We have to offer a really high compensation in order for it to make sense compared to London or New York, for instance. We only have very small communities for international workers, which doesn't make it very fun for an international worker to move to Denmark, simply because how would you meet friends and get networks? Then there's the language barriers, and of course, well, like I said before, we're just simply not competitive with the bigger cities in Europe. That's what we thought, at least. Because then came Julia. She was presented by Comijob, Kasper. We had no idea that this existed at the point in time. And to be honest, we were a bit skeptical in the beginning. We thought, well, if Kasper comes and presents Julia to us, why doesn't she just come herself and say, hi, I'm Julia, I would like a job? Is she lazy since she's being pushed into work? Or is there something a bit tricky to this? Furthermore, we thought, well, if this is Copenhagen municipality who is offering something for half price, it must involve a lot of paperwork. It must be kind of expensive in paperwork costs. But it turned out actually it was really, really easy. And Julia was really a winner. She had an impressive resume, 6 years of experience in digital marketing, which is something you gotta pay a lot of money to get in Denmark if you want a Danish speaker. She had a master's degree in marketing, excellent recommendations from prior employees, even some in Denmark that she had done through Copenhagen. She had really strong work ethics. Again, compared to Danish workers, we tend to be a bit lazy, 8 to 4 kind of people, long lunch breaks. Julia had a total different drive, coming from Eastern Europe and being used to work in an agency with very strong work ethics. So she really brought something special to the team. She had a huge growth potential and strong leadership abilities. In fact, she used to manage a team of 15, so I was kind of like a bit worried whether she would actually fit into the corporation where she wouldn't be a leader, but she actually turned out to love it. And all in all, we ended up with a very highly motivated employee, simply because she's been craving to get a full-time job within advertising that we could finally give her. So the result was that we of course took her in for 6 months of trial. This worked out perfect. She translated our site up to Romanian, which would have, well, this is usually something you pay really big sums for translation agencies to do. She helped us launch Momondo Romania, and in just 1 year we've grown 600% in revenue, and they achieved first places in the travel section in the app stores in iOS and Android, and third places in the overall travel stores in Romania, which is something you would normally pay hundreds of thousands of Danish kroner to do. But when you have somebody who knows online marketing, who knows the market, who knows the language, you just really move mountains in no time. So today, Julia is responsible for all PPC activities in Romania. She's doing social activities as well, and all of our PR. So I guess you could call her a country manager, a role that she has achieved in only 1 year in Momondo. On top of that, we found out that Julia was actually quite a superwoman. She has, I mean, all this experience and...
Is she here?
No, she's not. And she would hate me for saying this. Today she's a mentor for our new 10 international interns. Julia turned out to be an inspiration for our internationalization plan. We thought, if we can take over Romania with just one girl, why not just do this in all of our markets? So we couldn't find 24 interns who could start for the 1st of January, and we simply couldn't find the space for it either. So we took in 10 interns, which we could handle, who are all working full-time now, in the same kind of roles as Julia. And anyways, Julia is a big help. She's teaching them her online skills, as they didn't have when they came. So she is really, she's turning into quite a mentor. She's managed 8 different markets and implemented a new newsletter structure. I'm not going to go into all the responsibilities, you're getting the point. She really grew on us. So she became an inspiration, like I said, to hiring more interns. And actually, well, today we are 13 total in our online marketing team, all have different language backgrounds. We're looking into hiring probably another 10 by the next year. So we're really happy that we found this new inspiration source of labor. So our conclusions for 2013 compared to Q1 in 2012 is that after hiring all these international marketing managers, we have managed to grow 100% in revenue in all the international markets, which is of course remarkable. If you would do this by the help of agencies, it would have cost a fortune and we would never have done it. So we are super proud to say that we have a team that can deliver this now. We have great synergies between content, social, newsletter, and PR, simply because we're keeping everything under the same roof. So if social needs to push something on social media as well, they don't have to go to translation agencies or go to country managers abroad. They simply just come up to our office and we get everything solved very fast. We have a unified brand message across all markets. Again, we have 13 highly skilled online marketeers who we have trained ourselves in our own brand. So they know the brand the way that we wanted them to know the brand. So we are communicating in only one tone. We have the best knowledge sharing, which is just essential that if Julia learns something new, that it can be spread across all markets in just one day. And most importantly of all, I'm really proud to say that we have created kind of like an international family. I see that a lot of you in here are of international backgrounds, and you probably know how difficult it is to come into a Danish company or just find Danish friends. Well, these guys don't really have to do that because they are a family. They are 13 people from different backgrounds, from different countries. They're all here for just a very short time. And they've become not only super good colleagues and super good at working together, but they're all super good friends outside of the company as well. So we have actually, I would say, created some very local employees who I am sure will stay with us for a very long time.